Hi, everybody. Welcome to Living in Arizona. I am joined. It's nice jazz music at the beginning. I found just for you, because you had said it, nice jazz music out on the. I thought I'm going to find some nice light piano, almost like a Colbert type intro, like his guy has that nice kind of ease into it kind of music. And that's what everybody hears at the beginning. I went to great lengths to find that. Otherwise, it probably would have been a Counting Crows song that I chopped a piece out of. Okay, so here's a fun fact about shows that I produce for everybody. And by the way, this is Natasha Tomlinson. Fun fact about the shows that are produced on this platform. Almost all of the intros are Counting Crow songs. In some way, shape, or form, it's me stealing a piece of one of their tracks.
So this is your signature. This is your signature
fun Perfect Blue Studios fact. And the show is produced by Perfect Blue Studios. Go check out the entire list of Perfect Blue Studio shows. There is something for everybody. I am positive of it now. Natasha Tomlinson is a real estate professional, a realtor, proud of it, in the Scottsdale area. How can they get a hold of you?
Well, let's see. You can call my cell number, 480-203-4364. Visit me on my website, natashatomlinson.com, or any social media channel. Feel free to send me a DM. I'm happy to hear from you.
Perfect. Today, we are doing the top 10 things to do and or see in Scottsdale. Why? You're probably saying to yourself, but why? This is a fun podcast about living in Arizona. Why are you doing a top 10? Number one, gets a lot of views. Number two, I want to see how many of these he's actually done. That's just me being inquisitive. At the top of the list, and so far, when I looked at the list, I'm like, I didn't know about that. Frank Lloyd Wright's Taliesin West.
Oh, Taliesin West?
Taliesin West. All right, tell me about Taliesin West.
Oh, goodness gracious. I have been there. It has been a while since I've been there, but like 20 years, I think, since I've been there. But it is definitely a staple. It is a must visit. Frank Lloyd Wright has certainly done himself in this area, and it's an homage to him. So anyone who hasn't had the pleasure of visiting Taliesin West, make it one of your top spots.
Perfect. Which takes us to our second must-see item. Again, something I didn't know about. And this is right up with why I talked about the intro. The Musical Instrument Museum, ?
Oh, yes.
Okay, see, yes, I didn't know this. Tell me about the MIM. Tell me about the MIM.
Absolutely. The MIM is actually on the Scottsdale Phoenix border, just super close to Desert Ridge shopping complex. But they have concerts there from time to time, in a non-COVID environment. They have musical events. They display all the different musical instruments from around the world. All the different cultures are represented. They change the area of focus and the instrument of focus every couple of months. So let's see, last time I was there, they were focusing on it was the guitar, I believe.
Interesting.
And all the different variations.
So string pluck, it's almost like the Disney movie, right? The pluck, pull, hit. Everything that can be plucked, strung, or...
Yes.
How great is that?
Yes.
How
it's
great
demonstrated
is that?
All around the world in its most primitive form up to its most unique, most expensive stringed instrument. So yeah, it's definitely a place to check out. The acoustics on their stage is superb. And when the environment allows, add it to your list.
Excellent. All right, first curveball. They're saying that this is a foodie destination by far. Scottsdale Old Town culinary scene that there are walking tours, and that it is a absolute drop-dead culinary foodie stop. Can you confirm or deny that?
I confirm that.
What is the place on the walk for you?
Oh boy. There. I like all the little. I'm a big sweets fan.
Okay.
So there's all these little restaurants, little mom and pop, little places you can stop in for pieces of truffles, chocolates, ice cream, toffee, fudge, what have you. And it's a chocolate lover's culinary dream.
Is it really?
Little chocolate store. Yeah, it's great. If you have a strong sweet tooth, then I
Old
would
Town.
say yes, Old Town. Check that out.
Excellent.
And yes, you can also dine at one of their fine establishments. You could do that too. There's plenty to choose from. But
I'm sure there
if
are.
there was a sweet tooth.
Excellent. All right. There you go. See, things I don't know. All right. Another one I didn't know. And in fact, I'm looking at the photo and I know the building in the background. I don't know the actual art piece. Apparently, I keep saying apparently because it's all new to me. You have spectacular public art, and they cite the Solari Bridge and Plaza, the Doors Kaleidoscope by Donald Lepisky. So tell me about this public art thing that I didn't know about throughout the city of Scottsdale. Did we get one you didn't know?
You got me.
I'm telling you based on the photos. Because if you saw the buildings, you go, I know that building. There's a title company there. And then out in front of it are like three giant, they look like medieval doors. And they're like 40 feet tall, leaned up against each other as an art piece. It's mind blowing. I don't know where this art piece is. I know where the building is, kind of, but I was blown away. All right.
Okay.
Wine and ale trails. Okay, so I'm going to guess we have an IPA flavor of the month beer thing happening in Old Town, as well as, is it a winey stop as well? Is it a big wine tasting spectacular in Old Town?
Yeah. There are a few wineries and tasting rooms that have popped up down there as along with a couple tap houses too that have popped up. Some breweries that have popped up in Arizona and are showcasing their brews, really their tasty brews down there and throughout Scottsdale. So I would say yes, that's also a must see, a must investigate. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Historic Old Town walk. All right, with the Cavalry Shop, Blacksmith Shop, the Rusty Spur Saloon, Sugar Bowl Ice Cream Parlor, all of it. This again, really? This was a thing that I didn't know about. I knew about the Little Red School Bus. Okay, that I knew about. I didn't know about the rest of this. And apparently they have tours, and this is like you went to Scottsdale and you didn't go to historic Old Town? No.
Yeah. And you have the trolley that takes you all through Scottsdale. Yeah, absolutely. You must visit. I always mistakenly call it the Sugar Shack, but it's the Sugar Bowl. That's the proper name of the restaurant. And it is that good. It's been there forever. And I mean, you can't miss it because it looks like it's been there for decades, but that's part of its charm, really. But you go in there, you get a banana split, which is something that we don't normally do, right? We're all watching our figures and all this nonsense, but it's a must do when you're there. You have to do a full out banana split, the 3 scoops and all the fixings along with it. And you won't regret it. You won't. I promise.
Okay, so the next couple are interesting, which are ways of seeing around the town. The first one is like joyrides, but it's really golf carts. And then the next one is segways. So I guess my question is, in and around Old Town and Scottsdale, what is alternative traffic like? Do they have the scooters and segways and golf carts and lions and tigers and bears? Oh my.
They do. There's biking trails all throughout. They do have the segways also. And of course, you can always hop on a ride share, Uber or Lyft. And they have these manned, dressed up golf carts to help take you around town too. So there's no reason to drink and drive. There's plenty of alternatives.
Excellent. You can drink and scoot. Way better.
Drink and scoot. Drinking and be a passenger in the golf cart.
The only person you're going to hurt on a scooter is you. I've being a person from San Diego, that's been a thing to me of taking the scooter around the city. And yes, trust me, the only person who's going to get hurt is you. You're not even going to hurt the car you run into. You're there, and nobody's going to see you. So please wear a helmet. Personal safety tip from
everyone. I have not personally jumped on one of those.
You have to. You have to. They're a blast.
No, everyone I speak to has been hurt. Every last one, one of them. An elbow or wrist or whatever. They've popped something, snapped something, and I live vicariously.
I use the lift system, and the one I was going a mile away, just over to Balboa Park or something, and I was going up the opposite way of traffic. I'd prefer them coming at me than not being able to see them going past me. And
Agreed.
Somebody was clearly not looking up the street, I guess, and literally just opened a door straight in front of me. And I had to bail on my scooter within inches of hitting their door that they just swung out into the bike lane. And I was in a bike lane. Yeah. And I don't wear a helmet, so kids don't listen to Perfect Blue Studios.
Oh, no. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I don't know. You're just not, to tell you, you're not trained to look for bicyclists while you're driving. I don't know. You just.
And a scooter's even worse because they're a little zippier and faster. So please be careful.
Yeah.
Off-roading adventures. You're a hiker. Yes. We've talked about that on the very first show, but I'm guessing, they're talking about it's literally you really want to go mountain biking. You really want to get into like a razor or whatever they call those, zebras, or a three-wheeler, and go and see the desert and surrounding areas. I'm sure you see them out on your hikes. How expansive is it for off-roading adventures?
There's some trails in Scottsdale, but you'd have better luck outside of Scottsdale and even northern Arizona. But it's great to get out there, and there's all sorts of groups on Facebook that gathers on weekends and hit the trails either in their ATVs and in their razors, and they hit the dunes down in southern Arizona, or they take a trip up north, and it's a great time. It is an absolute great time. Again, wear your helmet, but a great time. Great time. And don't wear, fancy clothes, because you will be eating dust and everything else, but it's worth the trip.
Scottsdale, we've talked about this, and they bring it up in the next section of things to do in Scottsdale. One of the great things about Scottsdale, and we talked about it on the first show, which is hiking. And the first thing they bring up is the Grand Canyon. You as a hiker, how far away is Scottsdale from getting to the Grand Canyon?
Oh, it's a 3.5 hour drive to the southernmost part of the Grand Canyon. And I have to tell you, I've gone to the Grand Canyon once.
Right.
One time. And it's beautiful. It's breathtaking.
But it's one time. It's one time.
It's one time, unless you're planning on hiking down and there's all people that they go down, they take these trips and camping and overnight, and they take the donkeys down there and the whole thing. Unless you're planning on doing that, it's a long drive. I, as a person who drives and goes to a lot of locations, have been on the Nevada and the Arizona and in very interesting locations where, over that hill's the Grand Canyon, about an hour away. It's still an hour away. Yep. To go look at, I'm pretty sure I can remember it from my childhood. It was pretty much a long drive out there. I looked at it, and it really was like Vacation with Chevy Chase, where you look at it and you kind of, all right, get in the car. Exactly. It totally is. And I have not been on the side where they have the skywalk. I don't understand. I guess that's where people end up like losing their life or something.
Yeah.
There's a section.
Yeah, they fall over the edge, or they're not paying attention to their kids, and they tumble over the rocks and what. My daughter went to that side with her mother and stepfather, and she sat up there on a rock overlooking the edge, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah, the group that I was with, I was having a heart attack. Same thing. They have their legs swinging over the edge. I'm like, you do realize like these things they're not shored up by anything. Like the landscape falls away all the time. There's no guardrails, nothing, and you're just looking for the perfect photo op. So
just as a point of note for this lovely Scottsdale article that I pulled this off of, they point out Sedona, far, the mining town of Tombstone, far. I get it. If I was traveling and I was into the relics of the Old West and everything, and I had a choice of staying over by Sky Harbor and Phoenix, which is relatively close to Scottsdale, this is the point. Yes. I would stay in Scottsdale first. If I was looking for a place to live in Arizona, it would be Scottsdale. Probably. I'm quite positive. It would be very close to the Indian reservation, so I could play that golf course. But I kind of get where they're going with it. I guess everything is relative. Arizona as a whole is not that big a state. Nothing is really that far away unless you're talking about Tucson. And yes, it's far away. It actually is. It's a long drive.
Well, it all depends on where you're coming from, right? So I mean, in California, Arizona may not seem that big because there's larger, and you guys have all the traffic and all that to contend with. But coming from New Jersey, I mean, I can get from the northernmost tip of New Jersey to the southernmost tip in under 3 hours. So to those folks mentioning that it takes 4 hours to get to this area of Arizona or 3 hours, it sounds like a lot of time to them. So I guess it's all relative. Sedona, I will say, I know we're discussing Scottsdale, but has amazing hiking trails, if that's your thing, and off-roading opportunities there as well. So if you're living in Scottsdale, it's a must to find your way up north, hour and a half trip to Sedona, and check out what they have to offer as well.
The reason I bring that all up, everybody's leaving their respective overly priced states and or most locations. I know it's happening in California dramatically. When I'm asked for advice, I always say, go stay in a place for a couple of weeks. Just get an Airbnb and go see what it's like and go live there for a couple of weeks in somebody's house. But if you're moving to Arizona and you're really kind of getting a sample for everything, what would you recommend somebody do if they were coming into Scottsdale for the first time and really, all right, I'm moving. I know I'm moving. Where would you point someone to get a feel for it before they actually started the house hunt?
I would say a great area. Now, of course, it all depends. Are you coming here with your family? Are you coming here as an individual? What your wants and needs in a home are. But I love the idea of getting an Airbnb. Just maybe not this time of year because there really aren't any. Really snowbird season and everything. It's they're few and far between at this stage of the game. But a lot of the hotels may have availability, but this is our peak season because of the weather. I would suggest they come out for a couple weeks, as you suggested, get a feel for the place, get a feel for where things are. Rent a car. Don't just Uber or Lyft it or rideshare or what have you, and stay in your hotel the whole time. Really get a feel for going to Old Town Scottsdale, going to McCormick Ranch, checking out the casinos, the parks, the malls, the different times of day, golf clubs, spas, all of that, because we incorporate all that into our lifestyle as best we can, as one of the joys of living here. So make sure you get a taste of all that Scottsdale has to offer while you're here, not just the hotel.
And if somebody is geographically locating, it sounds like a horrible segue, and if it feels like one, everybody, it is. If somebody was thinking of relocating to Arizona, which a lot of people are, how could they get a tour of Scottsdale and the possible living situations in and around Scottsdale?
They can absolutely touch base with me. I'm more than happy to do so, regardless of where you're coming from. I'm happy to give you a taste of Scottsdale and the surrounding areas and what we have to offer. And there's plenty to see.
How would they get a hold of you?
I'll even take you on the hiking trail.
Ooh. As a hiker, I'm not
Or
sure.
we could play tennis. How about
Tennis.
that?
I didn't know you played tennis. Oh, that's a whole discussion. I did not know you played tennis. It's my very good friend that I produce a show for is a tennis pro, and he has sucked me into tennis. He has sucked me in, and I have a real certified top end friend who's giving me private lessons on tennis.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. No, he's the real deal. It's very nice. It's a very difficult game for me. It's I digress. How do you play tennis there? Do we have indoor courts or something? Like
They're outdoor. There are no indoor courts that I'm aware of. I mean, they're racquetball courts, but as far as tennis is concerned, there's outdoor courts. This time of year, you play no problem, and then the rest of the year, they're lighted courts. You can play at night. You can play early in the morning. I will say, I mean, I'm getting back into tennis. Okay, I haven't played in a number of years. My dad and I used to play a lot when I was younger, and he keeps nudging me every now and again because he beat me all the time, and he's waiting for the rematch, and so I'm getting myself.
Cute is that?
So
that's so
who knows?
cute.
We may even live stream it. So we'll see.
You should. That's good content. I would say, yay, good content. Are there clay courts out there? Do they do that in Arizona? That seems to be the thing down in San Diego. Everybody's looking like there are only a couple of clay courts, and apparently for real tennis players, getting to play on clay is like a big deal. To me, it just looks treacherous, and you slide a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, I've never played on a clay court. That just seems like a hot mess.
Crazy. It seems crazy. I want to play with a slight offshore breeze on Coronado. At a Marriott where there's a drinking fountain that's refrigerated, but that's just me. Clay courts give me this whole arid, dry feel of I'm going to play on dirt. Why would I want to play on dirt? Now maybe grass. I might be okay with grass. I might be okay with a grass court.
Even still,
lower game.
I mean, you think why? Because it's Arizona that we have.
No, slower. I think a tennis game on tennis on grass would be slower. I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Wimbledon on that? Wimbledon's on grass, isn't it?
Yes, Wimbledon's on. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Or clay.
It's the Australian Open, right?
One of them's clay, one of them's tennis. Yeah.
Yeah,
there you go.
I think so.
It's all good. Give out your information on how to reach you.
Yes. You can call me 480-203-4364. Call or text. Feel free to shoot me an email or visit natashatomlinson.com, and I'll be sure to get in touch with you.